Saudi investment fund approach Manchester United over mega Bruno Fernandes deal. Joshua Zirkzee reportedly picks Manchester United as his next club, and a bidding war for Mason Greenwood. These are some of the topics we will be discussing on this morning's live show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 500 likes on today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30 a.m, 1:30 p.m, and 6 p.m. UK time. Only 50% of people who watch the shows are subscribed. So if you're one of those people who isn't subscribed, please do get involved. The content is completely free. It doesn't cost any money. And I would love to have you here on the channel. Okay, right, let's get straight on into it though. I wanted to start the show by talking about Mason Greenwood. And I wanted to, as always, open up the comment section for you guys to get your opinions in. So I'm sure everybody knows what's going on with Greenwood, but if not, I'll give you a bit of a recap. But before we do that, I want you to let me know what you think should happen to Mason Greenwood. We're coming to the end of Mason Greenwood, I think, in relation to whether he'll stay or go. But I want you to let me know in the comment section. Two-part question. One, should Manchester United sell Mason Greenwood? And two, how much is Mason Greenwood worth? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be respectful with your answers. I know that everyone has an opinion on this topic, which is the purpose of this channel, to share opinions and have discussion, but please do it in a respectful way. Okay, so yeah, get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on that. But the headline this morning on Greenwood is that apparently there is a bidding war going on between two clubs. This is coming out from various different people this morning. It's been confirmed by Simon Stone, who reports for the BBC. Very reliable journalist, doesn't put out fake stories, doesn't put out lies, doesn't do clickbait. Like Simon Stone only posts stuff that he knows is 100% true because it's the BBC. Obviously, they have a sort of level of responsibility, I guess. I don't know, but the BBC are very reliable anyway when it comes to news stories. They only put out like 100% verified source information. So Simon Stone is reporting that apparently Manchester United have received two bids in the last 24 hours for Mason Greenwood. One of those is from Marseille and the other is from Lazio. Now, these two offers are believed to be below what Manchester United have asked for Mason Greenwood. Apparently, United are demanding £40 million for Mason Greenwood, which is a hell of a lot of money, but probably a fair price, being completely honest. £40 million for Greenwood is probably fair. But as it stands at the point of recording this video, the highest offer that Manchester United have received is €25 million, which is about £20 million. So it's about half of their asking price, which does seem very, very low. But apparently Manchester United want the deal concluded by Monday. The reason for this is they effectively don't want him to come back to training. They don't want him to be a distraction. They don't want, to constantly be asked what's going on with Greenwood. They don't want pictures of him at the training facilities and all the rest of it, because for a fact, if Mason Greenwood is at Carrington on Monday, there will be press everywhere. They'll be photographing him. They'll be writing up news stories. And Manchester United don't want this kind of media circus to unfold. They want to be able to start their pre-season in a positive way and not in a toxic way. So apparently Manchester United have set a deadline of Monday to get Mason Greenwood sold. Is that realistic? I mean, it's realistic if they accept the offers on the table, but if they demand this £40 million asking price, which is probably not going to happen, then it probably is unrealistic. So as it stands at the moment, €25 million with a sell-on clause of 50%, which would mean if in the future Lazio sold him for, say, £100 million, we would get half of that money. So that's the best offer we've got at the moment, €25 million plus a 50% sell-on clause, which apparently Manchester United aren't happy with. Apparently they want more, although there is an understanding that apparently the clubs will find a middle ground. I don't know, it's a difficult one. Obviously the fact that there's two different clubs bidding for him gives us a better hope of getting more money, because effectively they're trying to outbid each other. But at the moment, they're still, under half of what Manchester United are asking for. At this point, I think if we could get 30 million for him, I would take that. €35 million, £30 million with a 50% sell-on clause. that would go down as 100% profit. It would really help our financial fair play situation going forward. I think it would allow us to do much more things this market. So yeah, my absolute bare minimum for Mason Greenwood would be £30 million, which I know is low. I know he's worth more than that in a more stable market. But all things considered, I think if we could get 30 million for him, I would probably take that. But even then, right, the highest offer at the moment is £10 million less than that. So it's not even like we're close. Marseille offered 20 million euros, which is about £15 million, which is a joke, let's be honest. And Lazio offered 25 million euros, which is £20 million. So the highest bid at the moment is still about £10 million under what I think would be the absolute bare minimum we should look to sell Greenwood for. But Damasio's been talking about Mason Greenwood as well, a very reliable tier 1 Italian journalist who is reporting that apparently Lazio have outbid Marseille for Mason Greenwood and are now very confident of signing the Old Trafford player. So it does look like this deal will happen. Apparently Juventus have also entered the race for him as well in the last few hours. Apparently Juventus have said that they would be willing to swap Federico Chiesa for Mason Greenwood, which I think is quite an interesting swap deal. Let's do a poll, shall we? Let's do a little poll on that quickly, shall we? Whilst I'm setting up the poll, if everybody who's watching the video live could do me a small favour and smash a like. I've set a likes target of 500 for today's video. If everybody who's watching the video now hits the like button, we will do that. And we are now less than 100 subscribers away from 26,000. Let's see if we can hit that by the end of today. If this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe. It's completely free content. It doesn't cost any money. So if you are enjoying today's show, make sure you subscribe here on Daily Red Devil. And whilst you're doing all of that, whilst you're liking and subscribing, I am going to set up a poll for you. So the question's going to be this. Would you swap Greenwood for Chiesa? There we go. Okay, the poll's set up. If you're watching this back on repeat, you can obviously let me know in the comment section. But the question is simple. Would you swap Greenwood for Chiesa? Let me know in the comment section or get involved in the poll. Yeah, interested to see what other Man United fans have to say on this topic. So make sure you get your comments in and make sure you get your votes in on the poll. Okay. Let's move on from Mason Greenwood, though, because there is so much to get into on today's show. And the next story I've got for you is on Joshua Zirkzee. This is coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Obviously, loads and loads of people are desperately waiting for this deal to conclude. So Fabrizio came out yesterday quoting the Bologna director of football. Fabrizio has said Joshua Zirkzee will 99.9% leave Bologna this summer. He says that Manchester United are in active talks with the players' camp this week, discussing the terms of the contract. Apparently AC Milan are still sniffing around, but AC Milan still aren't willing to pay this agent commission, which I think is about £12 million. Fabrizio has also said that Manchester United are now the favourites to sign Joshua Zirkzee. Erik ten Hag has been calling Zirkzee almost every single day. AC Milan are still trying, but the only way for them to close the deal is if the player's agent lowers his demands. And then somebody else is saying that apparently Joshua Zirkzee has decided that he wants to join Manchester United. Yeah, let me know what you think about this. Obviously, there is still the risk with AC Milan sniffing around that they could come in at the last minute and try and steal this deal. But I think the fact that Erik ten Hag has been calling Joshua Zirkzee daily, that's what Fabrizio said. He's been persistent. Surely that shows the player that we want him. Surely that shows the player that he's valued, that he's needed, that he will be respected at Manchester United, and that should be enough to bring him to the club. Hopefully, AC Milan aren't willing to pay his agent commission. They've effectively pulled out of the deal. So if I'm Joshua Zirkzee, you've got one person, Manchester United, who's calling me every single day, telling me how much they want you at the club, and then you've got AC Milan saying that they're not willing to pay the money. Like, I would go for the team who actually actively want me. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. I do think the ball is in Manchester United's court. I think if we act fast, we trigger that release clause and we bring him, then there's not really much that AC Milan can do. I know that seems a little bit obvious, but if we sit on our hands for too long, then maybe other clubs will come into the race. So we've got to be quick with this one. We can't mess around here. as well, I just wanted to say a big shout out to Lisandro Martinez, who is been absolutely unbelievable for Argentina at the Copa America. Unbelievable. He scored a goal yesterday for Argentina. They've obviously just gone through to the next round. Yeah, like he's being looked at as one of the best central defenders in the world at the moment, and rightly so. Like I'm so happy for Lisandro Martinez. He came back from injury. He obviously won the FA Cup with Manchester United, and now he's just taken Argentina through to the next round of the Copa America. So big ups to Lisandro Martinez. I'm so happy that he's back fit. He's, starting every single week for Argentina. That's really, really great. And he scored a goal last night as well. I think it was his first goal ever for Argentina. So big ups to Lisandro Martinez. Let's see what else is happening in the chat. Somebody says, what do you think will happen to Antony? That's a good question. Well, the news on Antony is that apparently Ineos want to sell him. Ineos don't rate Antony. They don't see the potential in him even. They think that he was a waste of money and they want rid of him. But the problem with Antony is, one, he's on big wages. He's on £200,000 a week, which is absolutely ridiculous. Another terrible example of how the Glazers, John Murta and Richard Arnold messed up a transfer. He was on about 20k a week at Ajax, Antony, right? £20,000 a week at Ajax. And we give him £200,000 a week. So to start with, no one's going to want to pay his wages. And second of all, Manchester United invested, I think, £85 million in Antony. We'd be lucky, very, very lucky to even get half of that money back, I think. And I know that sounds crazy, but do you really think anybody would even give us £40 million for Antony? I don't think so. So I'll be honest, I think we're stuck with him. He's got another 3 years of his contract. I honestly think we're stuck with him. I don't think he's going anywhere. He probably is one of the worst signings in the last decade, I would say, Antony, genuinely. Like, I can't really think of a worse signing than Antony for that amount of money, those bigger wages. And that's not me being harsh. I think that's being pretty realistic. Like, can anybody in the chat think of a signing as bad as Antony? Pogba was expensive, but I think Pogba was good at points. Lukaku was expensive, but was good at points. Who else has been expensive? Harry Maguire, like, he's an easy name to mimic and to bully effectively for some people. But Harry Maguire at points has been good, whereas Antony's never been good. He's been terrible for the last 2 years. So, yeah, I think he will go down as the worst signing in our history, or at least in our recent history, I think. But let me know what you think about that one. So, yeah, unfortunately, for the person who asked in the comment section, the likelihood of us selling Antony is probably 1%. Not because we don't want to. We want to sell Antony. There's just nobody who wants to buy him. That's the reality of it. And there's nobody who's going to pay his wages or be willing to pay Man United a transfer fee, which would make sense for us. So I think we're stuck with Antony. We just have to hope that next season Antony somehow gets better. He somehow improves. I don't know how that happens, but we just have to hope. We have to pray. Like that's all we can do. Digital Sports Update says Di Maria was also expensive. Yeah, that's fair. Di Maria was expensive, but I still think Di Maria showed glimmers of being a good player, whereas Antony's probably had like maybe 1-2 good games in 2 years. So yeah. Jeffrey says, let's be patient. Antony can come good this summer. Yeah, of course. Anybody can come good. I want nothing more than Antony to succeed at Manchester United, to be honest. Like, nothing more than... It would bring me so much happiness if Antony was player of the season next year, but is that really going to happen? I don't know. Andrew says, do you know if Martinez ever played with De Ligt at Ajax? I'm not actually sure about that one, mate. I don't think so, but I'm not 100%. We've got over 600 people in the chat now, which is absolutely amazing. I've set a likes target of 500 for today's video. So if everybody who's watching the show right now hits the like button, we will hit that target. And we are now only 10 subscribers away from 27,800. So if you aren't subscribed, please go and do that right now. Let's try and hit that next milestone. And yeah, keep growing the channel, which is obviously going really, really well. So yeah, big ups to all of you. Milis says Martinez has been a monster for Argentina. I can't wait to see him back at United. Ariz says Antony will come good. I like the positivity, mate. I haven't seen enough. Being completely honest, I haven't seen enough from Antony to make me think that he's going to come good, but hopefully he does. But yeah, let's move on from Joshua Zirkzee. And let's talk a little bit about Bruno Fernandes then, shall we? Because there's loads and loads of news coming out this morning about the Saudi investment fund apparently approaching Manchester United to bring Bruno Fernandes to the Saudi League. So this is coming out from 3 or 4 different Saudi Arabian news outlets. They're all reliable. I checked it out before the show. One of them's got over 1 million followers on Twitter. It's all in Arabic, so I've had to translate it. But the headline is that the Saudi investment fund wants to bring Bruno Fernandes to the Saudi League and have held discussions on behalf of multiple clubs in the Saudi Pro League. So that's the first story that's come out. Then we've got another story saying that Bruno Fernandes' future at Manchester United is not guaranteed because the offer presented to the player and the club from the Saudi investment fund is too good to resist. It says, but United hope and are planning to keep him at the club. And then the next story, we go back to July of last year, where Bruno Fernandes rejected an approach from Saudi. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. That was obviously last summer. And then you have another story that Erik ten Hag has apparently told Manchester United that he wants to keep Bruno Fernandes. However, Bruno Fernandes' future is now uncertain as the offer received from the Saudi investment fund is too good, but United do hope that he will stay. And then we've got another one here from another outlet as well, saying that Cristiano Ronaldo is keen to bring Bruno Fernandes to Saudi Arabia to join him at Al Nassr next season. Now, I'm still trying to find out exactly how much this offer is. My understanding is that Manchester United would not accept anything less than £80 million for Bruno Fernandes, which is obviously a hell of a lot of money. And the question I've got for you is this. Again, it's a double part question. 1, would you sell Bruno Fernandes? Part 1. Part 2, if we did sell Bruno Fernandes, how much do you think he would be worth? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. It's a really difficult one with Bruno, to be honest, because he is our best player without a shadow of a doubt, which makes it a bit stupid to say that you should sell him. But Bruno Fernandes turns 30 next month, okay? He's 30 in a month, and he's got 2 years left of his current deal. Now, apparently Bruno Fernandes wants a new contract. Apparently he wants to be the highest earner at Manchester United. He wants to earn 350k a week, which would put him above Casemiro, who's on 340k a week. Do we want to give Bruno Fernandes a new contract at the age of 30? A new contract would probably be like a 4-year deal, wouldn't it? Realistically. So he would be 34 and be earning 350k a week. Now, looking at Bruno Fernandes' recent injury history, he could be performing at the same level he is now at the age of 34, and I'm confident of that. But he also could not. It is a risk. I think it's a really, really difficult question to answer, to be honest. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think, if Manchester United had an offer of 80 to 100 million with 2 years left of his contract, I think they would have to consider it, to be honest, because we paid about £50 million for him. So that would be a profit on what we bought him for, which is an absolute rarity. It never happens at Man United. We usually buy players. We either sell them for nothing or they leave for nothing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about Bruno Fernandes. Would you sell him? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really, really struggling to give a definitive answer because he is our best player without a shadow of a doubt. Like, he is. Does everyone agree that Bruno's our best player? He's got the best stats. He assists the most goals. He scores probably the most goals at the moment. Like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn with this one. I'm honestly like 50-50. But I will say this. If a massive bid came in for Bruno Fernandes, which is what apparently the story says, that they've approached them, they're going to give him ridiculous wages. They'll give Manchester United effectively whatever amount of money they want. The Saudi investment fund obviously want to bring the biggest players to Saudi Arabia. They're probably going to go for Mo Salah this summer, etc., etc. We probably should seize that opportunity. Let's do a poll. People in the chat are saying, I'll come back to those super chats in a minute. Give me 1 second. Let's say, okay, so let's do this. Should United sell Bruno for 80 to 100 million to Saudi? Let's do 80 to 100 million plus. Okay, I've just set up the poll. Obviously, if you're watching this back on repeat, you can let me know in the comment section. I'm just going to read out your super chats. Alan, thank you for your super chat, mate. I hope you're doing well. Alan says, what about Anthony in a 4-3-3 as a left number 8 with a high work rate? Oh, sorry, everyone. God, I don't know what came over me there. Anthony in a 4-3-3. I mean, maybe. To be honest with you, Alan, I think we've got to the point now where we need to just try and make Anthony work. Some people are saying he should play at left back. You know? Like, we're desperate. We're absolutely desperate. I honestly don't know. I want nothing more than Anthony to come good at Manchester United. I don't want him to be another player who's failed and that we've wasted money on. But at the moment, the fact that we're having to discuss moving him to a position that he doesn't naturally play in, that is quite concerning, isn't it? You know, that we're having to effectively change his position. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Erik ten Hag does do with Anthony. V33, thanks for your super chat, mate. He says, who would be your ideal replacement for Bruno Fernandes? I mean, if we're talking like ideal replacements, I'd probably go with Zirkzee, or I'd go with someone like Musiala, or one of those two. I mean, that's going to cost you 100 million, but I think it would be worth the money in the long run. Arguably, now this is controversial, but arguably, didn't we bring Mason Mount to Manchester United as Bruno's replacement? I said this at the time. Why did Manchester United sign Mason Mount? Bruno Fernandes, I think, has missed one game of football in his whole career. He plays every single game. Even when we play in the League Cup against Newport away from home, Bruno Fernandes will play. Even if we play in the Europa League against some team that none of us have ever heard of, Bruno Fernandes will play. Even if we're playing our third game of the week, Bruno Fernandes will play. So why did Manchester United sign Mason Mount? I always thought at the time that they saw him as the natural replacement for Bruno Fernandes. Maybe we've already got the replacement at Manchester United. And I know some people will say, how the hell can you think Mason Mount will be his replacement? But why else did we sign him? Like, can anybody explain to me why we signed Mason Mount? He plays in the same position as Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes never misses a game and is never dropped. So what was the point? Bruno Fernandes doesn't even get subbed. Where's Mason Mount supposed to play? He's not a CDM. He's not a right winger. He's not a striker. He's a central attacking midfielder. So I know some people aren't going to like that theory, but either Erik ten Hag was absolutely stupid and bought Mason Mount for no reason, just to sit him on the bench, or Erik ten Hag thought in the next few years, Bruno Fernandes is going to leave. Maybe we should cash in on him. Let's bring in Mason Mount. There's an opportunity here to buy a player from a rival club. He's only 25 years of age. As I just said, remember, Bruno Fernandes turns 30 next month, yeah? Mason Mount's just turned 25. So, you know, maybe that's the answer. I don't think it is the answer personally. As in, I don't think Mason Mount's better than Bruno Fernandes, but it could be an option, you know? People are saying that Mason Mount is not Bruno's replacement. Why else did they sign Mason Mount? When is Mason Mount going to play? I'm not saying I think he's good enough to be his replacement. I'm just asking the question, right? If Bruno Fernandes is never injured, he's never dropped, he's never substituted, what's the point in having Mason Mount on the bench if he's never going to play? What was the point? We spent, 60 million on him? Why? There's no logical reason. We've got Christian Eriksen who can play as a central attacking midfielder. Like, we didn't need Mason Mount, did we? Unless, in the 2-3 year plan, they're saying, in the next couple of years, we're going to need to move on Bruno. I don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm literally asking you guys the question and asking for your opinion and trying to understand why we invested 60 million euros or 60 million pounds, in Mason Mount. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The only logical explanation is that they thought that he would replace Bruno Fernandes, you know? And I know a lot of people are saying he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And I agree with you. But I just can't understand. So people are saying we could play with 2 number 8s. But we're not going to do that, though. I don't think we're going to do that. Because there's going to be Kobbie Mainoo, who is a number 8 really now. I think Kobbie Mainoo's more of an 8 than a CDM. And then there'll be a number 6, a CDM. So if we did play with 2 number 8s, the 2 number 8s would be Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo. Alex says Mason Mount can play across the 3 in a 4-2-3-1. But have we done that? Mr. C says it's so obvious. We're going to play a 4-3-3 with 1 6 and 2 8s. But, mate, the thing you have to remember is, right, Kobe Mainoo is a number 8. He's not a central defensive midfielder, I don't think. Kobe Mainoo is much better further up the pitch, connecting the play. So, yeah. We'll wait and see what happens with this one. But I just don't see Mason Mount getting any opportunities. He's not going to. He didn't last season. I know he was injured at points, for large points of the season. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. I'm still 50-50 about, whether selling Bruno Fernandes is a correct decision. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a really, really difficult one to answer. Because you are effectively selling your best player. You are effectively weakening yourself. But in the long run, is cashing in on him now, whilst he's still got 2 years left of his contract, whilst he's still worth a lot of money, is that a more better option for the long run than it is to hold him for 2 years and then him either leave as a free agent or you have to give him a new contract at the age of 30, 31, 32? Like, it's impossible to know the right answer. Bruno Fernandes might be playing at the level he is now until he's 40. That is possible. Ronaldo does it. Other players do it. So, yeah, it's a really difficult one to answer, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in this question. Let's see what else people are saying in the comment section. Victor says, I can see Mason Mount taking Bruno Fernandes' position if Bruno departs. Anthony says, why are we not trying to sell Sancho to Saudi? Sancho doesn't want to go to Saudi, mate. This is the problem. Like, there are places that will take Jadon Sancho, but he just doesn't want to go. He only wants to go where he wants to go. And if he doesn't, he'll probably just happily hang around with the under-21s and earn his 250k a week. That's the reality of the matter, And I think that's what frustrates Man United fans, is that, he's willing to just sit about and effectively earn money for nothing. But, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens to... We'll wait and see what happens to Jadon Sancho. I think we will find a solution, but I think it will probably end up being a loan, being completely honest. But we'll wait and see what happens. Obviously, let me know what you guys think about Jadon Sancho in the comment section. Do you think he should stay at Manchester United? I imagine most people will say no, but it's always interesting to see what other people think, Big ups to Lee Cape Town, who's just gifted 5 memberships to the Daily Red Devil Members Club. Thank you very much for your support, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, anybody who's been given a membership by Lee, make sure you say thank you in the live chat, because that's a really nice thing to do on this Friday. And if you are watching this back on repeat, make sure you join us when we're live, because people give out memberships. We have good chat. We're live every day at 8:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. So make sure you subscribe, everybody. Make sure you like the video as well if you haven't already. We're now only 1 subscriber away from 25,800. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you go and do that. And get involved here on Daily Red Devil. I'm going to read out a couple of your questions in a minute. So get in the comment section, put some questions in, put the letter Q in front of your message, and I will circle back and read them in a minute. So yeah, make sure you go and do that right now, and I will read out a couple of questions in a second from now. A little update on Manuel Ugarte for you quickly before I move on to your questions. I'll be honest with you, it's gone very, very quiet with Manuel Ugarte, and the news I was given this morning is that apparently there is no rush to find a solution for his future. It seems to me that a lot of these clubs and players are waiting until the end of the Euros and the Copa America. His focus is on the Copa America. The same with Joshua Zirkzee's focus is on the Netherlands. The same with De Ligt's focus is on the Netherlands. Like, a lot of these deals are stalling because of these international tournaments. And this happens every single summer. I know Paulinho has just joined Bayern Munich and he's playing for Portugal at the Euros. So deals are happening. But for some reason, it probably has something to do with the fact that Dan Ashworth's only just been appointed. And yeah, I know it's frustrating. Ryan's just gifted a membership as well. Big ups to Ryan. Thank you for your support, mate. If you've just been gifted... that's funny. So it says Ryan has gifted a membership, but the membership has been gifted to himself, which is, I've never seen that happen before. But thank you for your support anyway, mate. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well and welcome to the channel. Okay, let's see what people are saying in the comments section then. Gaminda says, when do you think we will get our first player signed and our first player sold? And who do you think it will be? That's a good question. I think our first signing will be De Ligt. I think it will probably be next week. The information I've been given is that apparently Manchester United are waiting until the Euros is over and then they will sign him. I don't know why. Maybe it's a rule that's going on in the Netherlands camp that they're not supposed to be doing things outside of the camp. I don't know. But yeah, I would say De Ligt will be our first signing. I think our first sale will be Mason Greenwood. Manchester United are really trying to push through this Mason Greenwood exit. So yeah, I think it will be Mason Greenwood to leave and De Ligt to sign. What else have we got in the comments? V33 says we should sell Bruno, make sure Mount stays clear of injury. Bring in Florian Wirtz or Xavi Simons as rotation. Thoughts? Mate, I'll be honest with you. I like that idea. I do. Xavi Simons is available this summer as a loan. So, yeah, maybe there is a world where you bring in Xavi Simons. Florian Wirtz would be an unbelievable signing. Musiala would be an unbelievable signing. I mean, that's going to cost a lot of money. But if you got 100 million for Bruno Fernandes and then you went and spent 100 million on Wirtz or Musiala, or you did a loan deal for Xavi Simons, I think you probably are better off in that position because you're bringing in a player who's 10 years younger and has his whole career ahead of him versus a player who's probably in his peak right now. But yeah, it's difficult. I'm 50-50 at the moment, you know? Yeah, it's very, very difficult. Forever Red says, why can't Manchester United sign anyone during the Euros? Arsenal have just confirmed their first signing. I'll be honest with you, mate, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. My guess would be this, that Manchester United were waiting for Dan Ashworth to come in officially, maybe. That's my guess. I don't know. But yeah, like, there's no reason why De Ligt can't be doing his medical. There's no reason why Zirkzee can't be doing his medical. Unless within the Netherlands camp they've said you're not allowed to. I don't know. That's the answer. You know, it's not, the information isn't out there at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens. Josh says Florian Wirtz is not going to leave Leverkusen. He's announced he doesn't want to leave. But then Bruno Fernandes doesn't want to leave Man United. But if a massive bid comes in, which apparently it has, and big wages come in, you know, his head might be turned. So it's easy for a player to say, I don't want to leave when there isn't any clubs trying to buy you, you know? Like, it's all good and well them saying, I'm not going to leave. But nobody's trying to buy them anyway. Does that make sense? So even though Florian Wirtz has said he doesn't want to leave, I'm sure if Real Madrid come and offer 100 million, he'll leave, you know? So yeah. What else have we got? We've got 650 people watching the video now, which is amazing, guys. If you haven't already, please smash a like. I've set a likes target of 500. We're about halfway there. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please go and do that. And we're still one subscriber away from 25,800. So if this is your first time watching, make sure you subscribe and get involved here on Daily Red Devil. What else have we got? Digital Sports Update says, I'm feeling really positive about the Ineos summer transfer window. I am as well, mate. I am. I think it will be a good window. And I know people are going to say, how can you say that? We've not signed anybody. It's a disgrace. Like, there are some people who get really, really worked up about it. But I think when you look at the full picture, you look at that there's the Euros going on, the Copa America's going on. Yeah, I think it's, you know, to be expected. And I think we will get a quick flurry of deals in the next kind of few days or weeks. And I know people keep hearing that, but that's just my opinion. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Really, really great conversation. I will be back live at... I'm just trying to think what time to do the video today, because obviously the Euros is back on, and I imagine everybody's going to be watching the football, right? Is that right? Because Spain-Germany's at 5 o'clock. So if I go live at 6, is everybody watching going to be watching that game? Let me know. Let me know now quickly. Because if I'm, you know, I don't want to do a video when there's nobody around. Or will you guys still watch and have the football on in the background? Like, let me know. But there will definitely be a video at 1:30 this afternoon. It's just what time to do the video in the evening, you know? Is everybody going to be watching the Euros? Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, let me know quickly before the show ends, and I will work out what time to do the video later. Obviously, it's difficult when the Euros is on because there's games at 5. and then there is games at 8. So unless I did it in between, maybe I'll do it at 7. Yeah, maybe I'll do it at 7. There will be a video at 1:30 anyway, and then there'll either be a video at 6 or 7. Ryan says, what about 4 o'clock? Yeah, I'll wait and see. I'll have a look how things are progressing, you know? Forever Ed says do it between the 2 games. Yeah, I'll probably do that, mate. I'll have a think about it, but there will be a video this evening, either at 4 o'clock or 4:30, something like that. And also there'll be one at 1:30 as well. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll speak to you all at 1:30 UK time. I'll let you know what time the evening video will be then. But yeah, 1:30. See you all here. Speak to you in a couple of hours. Bye for now.